Paul Heyman, the WWE, and this WWE aspect element of this is interesting as well, because they just had a WrestleMania that was not as successful as what they're used to. A lot of complaints about this WrestleMania they just had Easter weekend. And the next thing you know, one of their big personalities, one of their number one doo-doo stirrer, Paul Heyman, is on ESPN and Pat McAfee. And within 60, 90 minutes of this news coming out, Paul Heyman's taking shots at Shannon Sharpe on the Pat McAfee Show. Let's start with shot number 2. This is a quick one where this is the one I think that has gone most viral. Let's play shot number 2. Paul Heyman just taking a unnecessary shot at Shannon Sharpe.
See, CM Punk does as much good to my reputation as Shannon Sharpe does to ESPN.
Oh, no, jeez. Oh, boy. All right, see, all right, we don't need that. A lot going on.
Don't ooh me. I'm not the one getting sued.
Whoa, okay, all right. Whoa.
So, the WrestleMania, a lot of its fans upset. Ticket pricing, didn't think it was creatively done. There was a lot of conversation. It had good ratings, got it. But there was a lot of conversation about WrestleMania being off without Vince McMahon. The creative's not as good, and the pricing has gone through the roof. And all of a sudden, Paul Heyman's on ESPN taking all the attention away from that and putting the WWE in a different conversation, or switching the conversation to Shannon Sharpe. This is all fascinating and interesting to me. That, like, what's ESPN going to do? What this Pat McAfee riff with Stephen A. Smith and people that are aligned with Stephen A. Smith, such as Shannon Sharpe, that war just keeps spinning and spinning and spinning. And the entire thing, what we just saw there in terms of Paul Heyman talking about Pat McAfee and getting high and all of this, it's unbelievable for me that these sinners, and I saw the movie Sinners last night, and I'll probably talk about it with Shamika on the Harmony channel after today's show on the different Harmony channel, and I'll bring that up at the end of the show. But these sinners, from Pat McAfee to Shannon Sharpe, and again, I'm not sure where I'm going to try to squeeze in a Kanye conversation today as well, because Kanye spun off the rails again and talked about, it's one of the most unbelievable, sexual molestation and his involvement in it. But it's like, what world have we created where you're more valuable as a personality and a entertainer and as an influencer? You're more respected the more controversy and the more sexual controversy and the more immoral, irresponsible you are. For most of my adult life, I've struggled with my health, feeling sore and low energy. But Relief Factor, it's changed all that. I feel better, I move better, I think better. And here's the thing, it's only $20. You've got nothing to lose. In fact, about 70% of those who order Relief Factor go on to order more. Begin your journey, start your transformation, reclaim your life. Relief Factor. We've turned all of television into basically the real world. You remember the Real World on MTV, and maybe it's still going on. But that's when we started doing reality TV and placing flawed people, very flawed people, screwed up people in a house, and then pouring some gasoline in there and throwing a lit match into the house and just setting things on fire. And it feels like that's what's happened at ESPN. It feels like that's what's happened throughout all of TV. if you're not tatted up, sexually degenerate, profane, unnecessarily profane, there's no place for you in corporate media. There's no place for you with an elevated platform. You must be profane. You must be degenerate. You must promote sin to some degree in order to be. And so I just sit back and go, I think Shannon Sharpe, part of me thinks this controversy, this latest controversy, and no matter what Tony Busby does, no matter how many women come out and say anything about Shannon Sharpe, I actually think it's going to work for Shannon Sharpe. This is brand building. And I'm looking at Pat McAfee, brand build. And I'm looking at Kanye West, brand build. And we're living in a, for someone like me, 57, I spent my entire life thinking like, hey, if I avoid some of these activities, if I avoid dirtying up my name, if I avoid embarrassing myself or embarrassing my family and getting caught up in some sort of controversy that puts me in a bad light, it's going to actually enhance my career and increase my opportunities. And now I've lived long enough to know it's just the opposite. And I'm baffled and disturbed and disconcerted and wondering, what world are we leaving young people? This is, and so I just, there's a lot to talk about, a lot to digest. I can't even say my thoughts on this are crystal clear. But holy cow, what a time to be alive. What a time to be a culture critic. And at some point today, either on this channel or it'll probably be on the Harmony channel, I'm going to talk about this movie, Sinners. I'm going to talk about the latest with Carmelo Anthony and his family moving on up like George Jefferson. And what world have we built? What is this? And am I just the old fart that has clearly existed in the corporate world past his expiration date, or just my ways just have no value in this current world? Is it the real, has it gone that evil and woke? Because I'm telling you, I was sitting at this movie last night. It's a Monday night. The theater is packed on a Monday night, and I'm watching this movie, Sinners. This is the Michael B. Jordan movie, with my mouth wide open, like, what am I watching? This is art? This is allowed? And I turn on sports TV, and I'm like, this is allowed? This is, Paul Heyman can go on a show and talk about getting high with Pat McAfee, and he can talk about and troll Shannon Sharpe over allegations of rape. This is where we're at. Again, there used to be a place for this, and where it was off on the fringes. It's now all mainstream. And I know that some of you get tired of me like, hey man, old man, get off my lawn. Don't you understand? The porn era is here. Quit complaining about it. When I complained about like the Temu ads that I was getting fed and that everybody's getting fed, oh, that's a reflection of what you search, Whitlock. Quit complaining, blah, blah. My mind is blown. My mind is blown about where we're at, where we're headed, and, you know, perhaps you guys get tired of hearing me talk about it, but I can't quit talking about it because it's blowing my mind. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss a moment of Fearless.